Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be going over a future free unit we will hopefully be able to enjoy. Fenrir Madam Edel, and she looks pretty cool. She's got some unique aspects about her, and hopefully in the future you guys will be able to enjoy her as a free event reward unit. If you don't know, JP has reworked some of the events in the game, like the King Mog, as well as introduced some other new events into the game. I think it was like the Tower event, to enable us to have access to free units. We've gotten some of them before, but these ones are much more powerful in comparison to the ones that we've received previously for at least a long time anyway. So hopefully we'll be able to see that stuff get put into the global version of the game sometime soon, like the Warrior of Light King Mog event had a free Garland unit who's actually pretty powerful as a true double hand unit, a pretty strong limit burst. And that helps new players get access to some characters. So this is going to be Madam Edel with Fenrir. Her TMR here is going to be a hat, a 45 attack, and then increased resistance to attack break by 50%. So nothing super insane there on her hat, but it is a 45 attack headpiece. So for a newer player, if you're able to get your hands on that, that's going to be a very powerful hat. That's like Precious Hairpin without the HP for the most part there. So almost, you know, like a real TMR, an older one as well. Her super TMR here is going to increase your HP and MP by 35%, increases Fenrir's bonus stats by 30%, and then give you a 200% attack bonus at the start of the battle. So there's some cool, interesting things here. You know, if you do end up using Fenrir like all your killers are max, which you'll never really do. Fenrir's not that great of an Esper right now. It doesn't have any killer effects, which is a huge portion of how much damage you do. That'll give you a little bit of attack there. It does give you 35% HP and MP, but it also it does give you 200% attack buff at the start of the battle. So if you're like a veteran character, I always call you guys veteran characters out there. If you're a veteran player out there wanting to turn one, you know, destroy something, right? Like a raid or maybe even some stronger events like a one-turn KO strategy out there, you could use this to get that 200% attack buff that starts at the start of the battle. If you're using a character who doesn't already have some sort of attack buff, that is better than that. So that's going to be pretty interesting there. You can see her chaining families are going to be Stardust Ray and a Royal Ray. Stardust Ray soon in global should start becoming a more prevalent family. We just had the news about King Rain getting released November 7th and some other stuff. So if you want to see that, be sure to check out the other video that I put up the other day. But he does main the Stardust Ray family. He's a Stardust Ray main. All right, but let's get into her stuff here. Let's get into her stats and equipment. As you can see, her equipment selection, she can equip a bunch of different stuff. Basically anything that's not like a rod or a staff she can throw on there. So she's got access to a whole bunch of stuff, from fists to guns to throwing weapons, whips, spears, katanas, axes, hammer, like all of that stuff is in there. And then she also can wear all the armor in the game except for any kind of shield or robe. So she's got helmets, hats, all that good stuff. Now let's get into her kit here. You can see some of the stuff is already highlighted, which does mean that she's going to get triple and dual cast. All right, but let's go through her stuff here. So her first skill, not really that great. A little bit of an attack magic buff, nothing major there. She has a skill that does a little bit of a multiplier and unlocks triple cast for 2 turns. Really aren't going to be using that skill, but she does get that right away at 5-star. And then she does here with her first chaining family of Aurora Ray, give herself in your whole team 150% high tide while doing a 4.0 multiplier. Nothing extraordinary there. But then she does have 2 imbues here. So she's got the first skill here is fire physical damage with a low multiplier with an 80% fire imperil to all enemies for 5 turns, and then add fire element to her physical attacks for 5 turns. She also has a wind version of that. So 80% imperil for either fire or wind, depending on what skill you do, and then a 5 turns of fire or wind imbue for her attacks there. And these ones are also Stardust Ray, so you can get in there, use this, you know, to get that imbue in, start your chain multiplier up, and then start using some of her stronger skills to actually do damage. She also has a skill here to recover a little bit of MP here, 100 MP if you do run out of MP, which should not be a problem with this character. She has one of the biggest MP regions I think I've ever seen, as well as HP regions of any character ever here. So that's pretty crazy there. Her next skill here, pretty cool. Physical damage 5.9 multiplier, gives herself auto revive and a 2000 HP barrier. The multiplier is really low, 5.9. It does get buffed up a little bit, I think up to like a 9.9 from one of her modifier increasing skills. Still pretty low in comparison to what we have even right now. But to have auto revive and the HP barrier as well, you might find a use for this if you don't want her to go down. Maybe she's gonna die, you know. maybe you don't want her to die, get the HP barrier up there. Maybe you'll find a use for this skill. If you're a newer player, you're gonna find this skill pretty helpful as you're gearing your characters up, getting better tanks, getting better defensive gear for your damage dealers. So this is gonna help your Madam Edel survive even more. Now the next one here, she also has 100% fire and wind in peril right here. With a 5.0 multiplier associated with it. This is also the Stardust Ray. So she goes up to 100% fire and wind in peril based off the skills we've seen so far. The other two skills that we saw before that were 80%, they also imbued you, don't forget. So if you don't need the imbue though, and you still want the fire or wind in peril, then this is going to be your go-to skill. If you want to have the 100% in peril in the imbue, you're going to use the imbue and then follow it up with this in peril for that 20% extra in peril. Now she also has something else that she can do here. She can go ahead and give herself a 50% beast killer buff for 3 turns as well, as associated with this skill here. 5.4 multiplier, 50% beast killer, and then this one is also the Stardust Ray family. Her next skill is indeed dual cast, and then we're gonna get to this really crazy skill. I saw this skill and I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a 10 turn cooldown. 10 turn cooldown available on turn 1. This heals 500 million HP split over 9,999 turns, which is absolutely crazy. This is me copy-pasting this. I had to copy-paste this into the calculator. I was like, there's no way that this is... I did the math. I was like, that's not correct. There's no way she heals that much each turn. It is 50,000 HP healed per turn. She's just going to go to full HP. Yeah, 500 million HP over just under 10,000 turns is... yeah, 50,000 HP a turn. So she's gonna full heal herself every turn at the end of the turn for the rest of the fight, which is absolutely insane. And then she's gonna heal her entire MP gauge every turn as well, because she heals, that's right, 1 million MP over 9,999 turns. So she's gonna full heal her HP and MP pretty much every turn. Pretty insane in the membrane here. She's got this massive MP refresh, huge HP refresh, 50,000. I don't think we can hit that number outside of maybe a series bonus boss battle. She also gives herself 200% high tide for 9,999 turns. She increases the modifiers of her skills by 4.0 for 9,999 turns. This effect cannot be dispelled. And then the last part here just says enable skill to cast or triple cast. There's no duration here, so I'm going to assume that it just gives you triple cast until she dies. So that's going to be pretty cool there as well. No duration, enables triple cast, and maybe it's for 9,999 turns, or it's just indefinite due to the fact that there's no duration here, which is absolutely crazy. She's going to have triple cast for you guys out there. But yeah, that's very nice. She's very self-sufficient in the HP and MP healing route. She can help her survivability with that auto revive and the 2,000 HP barrier. So keep that in mind. So she's looking pretty cool for a free unit. A Stardust Ray here. This is going to be her main damage dealing skill. It's going to be Stardust Ray, so 10 hits total, but the first 9 hits are a 1.5 multiplier with ignore defense of 50%. That last hit is going to be a 4.0 multiplier with ignore defense of 50% as well. Now remember guys, the multiplier increases. As always, I have to get in here every single time. It's going to apply to both parts of this. So this 4.0 multiplier is going to make this a 5.5, and it's going to make this an 8. But then it has ignore 50%. And as far as the damage calculations are concerned, that's basically times 2 whatever the multiplier is. So this is going to go up to 8 times 2, so this is going to be a 16 down here, which is pretty crazy. And this is going to be 5.5 times 2, so it's going to be 11. So it's going to be like a 27 times multiplier, which is, you know, very, it's pretty powerful, actually. It's pretty powerful. It's not going to, she's not going to be like the best damage dealer when, you know, these characters do come out, but we're looking right now at characters who don't even hit that right now, that are, you know, Gasha characters, time-limited characters, who are coming in here. They have to ramp up and stuff. She just uses this skill on turn 1. She can dual cast it. She can dual cast this skill and then just maybe imbue on turn 1, and then she can just start triple casting and just never run out of HP, never run out of MP, just keep going. So this is going to be the skill that she's just going to spam Marino out there. And she's got one other thing that she can do for some pretty big damage if you want to. Her last skill here is going to be a cooldown skill, 5-turn cooldown available on turn 5. It's going to be a 74% defense break for 1 turn, 120% fire and wind in peril for 1 turn, and then a physical damage attack 25 times multiplier with ignore 50% defense to all enemies as well. So it's going to be a 50 times modifier there. Pretty powerful. You can't dual cast cooldown skills, but thankfully, guys, I'm going to give you a hint here. She is a true dual wield unit, just like Madam Edel. The normal version was. The Fenrir version is a true dual wield unit for a free for free. So you can't dual cast this, but what you can do is on this turn, if you just access the skill and use just this skill, since you're dual wielding, it'll use the skill 2 times for you. So you're gonna be able to get in there with this 50 times modifier twice. So it's gonna be basically 100 times modifier on that skill. You're gonna get that 100% imperil, 120% imperil, excuse me, get that 74% break, and do a 100 times multipliers worth of damage all in one go. So not bad for a free unit so far. So let's get into the passives here. She gets attack, HP, and MP plus 20%, dark resist 20%, increases Fenrir's bonus stats by 30%. She gets a natural dual wield, 7% MP per turn. So this MP per turn with her passive ability to give herself that refresh, I guess is an active ability to give herself that refresh over 9,999 turns. She's just never going to run out of MP. 2 limit burst gauge crystals per turn, 20% HP and MP when equipped with a gun. Attack and defense 30%, Fenrir bonus stats another 20%, 50% passive beast killer, 30% attack, 20% spirit when equipped with a fist, 50% true dual wield. She does get the 6 times modifier chain cap when dual wielding, so she does have the true dual wield mastery passive. Thank goodness. And then she gets 100% charm resist, 30% more dark resist, and then she gets a chance to counter physical and magical attacks. So this is actually a really cool one. Most of these are like pretty garbage, but hers are actually pretty good for surviving. Now her TMR/Super TMR activated trust ability reward, attack, defense, and spirit 30%, 50% more beast killer, 50% more true dual wield. She has an HP lock of 1% with a chance to ignore fatal damage, 100% proc rate when her HP is above 1%, so she's got a can't die passive, 20% HP, 50% attack, 100% increased counter chance, and then another 50% beast killer. So she's going to have 150% beast killer here, which is absolutely insane. And then remember guys, she's got 150% passively. She can give herself another 50% with her buff from her Stardust Ray skill. So she can go up to a 200% beast killer. She's gonna slay some beasts. All right, now her conditional stuff, her counters, you can see her triple cast. Her counters are 75% physical and 75% magic damage, which is actually pretty absurd in the long run. Remember, this will have a base counter rate of 30%, but she does have a 100% counter buff as a passive will. So these are going to be 60% proc rate counters. So she's going to be pretty tanky. She's got that massive HP regen, that massive MP regen, 75% damage mitigation to physical and magical. You can throw a general mitigation on there and have them all stack up with each other. She's got a lot of HP and defense and spirit passives in there as well. And then she's gonna, if you do put Fenrir on her, which you probably shouldn't for most damage dealing scenarios, she's gonna get a lot of extra bonus stats from Fenrir. And these things, you know, the bonus stats from the Esper units that we're getting, right, where they just, a bunch of them get a bunch of bonus stats. A lot of the times, you know, you're gonna want to put the proper Esper on them, right? If you're fighting a dragon, you're gonna probably want to put Odin on, right? If you're fighting an undead, you're gonna want to put like Phoenix or Odin on, depending on whatever has the highest killer for you. But as FFBE grows and goes, we keep getting higher and higher tier versions of Espers. So maybe one day we'll see 4-star versions of Espers, 5-star versions of Espers in the far, far future. And every time those Espers level up, their base stats and the stats that they get go up, which means that these characters are gonna grow with them as well. So, you know, maybe in the near future when we start getting like the next tier of Fenrir, maybe Fenrir will have some killers associated with it, or maybe Ifrit will, or, you know, but these characters could get even better over time. Now her last thing is going to be her limit burst here. It's pretty powerful. So it's a 38 crystals, 15 hit skill, 42 times multiplier to all enemies. And it increases physical damage against beasts by 50% for 3 turns to all allies as well. This one really isn't that big of a deal, the beast killer to all allies. Maybe if you have like a chain finisher on your team, or maybe if you are partnering her up with someone else who is Stardust Ray triple casting every turn, maybe that will be cool. But if you're using like a Madam Edel and then your friend's Madam Edel, they're both going to pretty much have beast killer anyway if it's relevant. But this does put it back up for free by doing a nice 42 times multiplier. This in general won't be better than just triple casting your skills. There could be some scenarios where this could be better, right? Because she doesn't have any limit burst damage in her kit. She doesn't have any limit burst damage buffs. And like we said, this skill here, you can get this up to like a 27 times modifier, be able to triple cast this off Not that skill, her go-to skill right here. This one would be like a 27-ish times multiplier, I think I said. You did a triple cast this, that's going to be out the 42 times multiplier. Unless you get some massive limit burst damage, you have some crazy gear to throw on her. This probably won't be out just triple casting her damage skill, but if you want to do some damage and get the Beast Killer up, maybe that's when you do it. But even then, that's still weaker than just putting the Beast Killer up and dual casting this skill all in the same turn. But Madam Edel looks pretty cool. She's gonna be pretty tanky with that 75% mitigation, so there's gonna be a couple ways to build her. Maybe if you have like a counter increase materia, right? Maybe if you have like Tomb Raider from back in the day, you want to do like a crazy build for the veterans for it, have like a super tanky DPS. You have Tomb Raider from Explorer Eileen, throw that in there. Doesn't really give her anything because it's a true double hand materia and she's true dual wield, but if you have a bunch of other cool stuff, you have a free open materia slot, you throw that in there, get her counter chance up to like 75-80%, so it's almost always going to proc. That would be really cool. Get her up there, make her tanky, get that 50,000 HP refresh per turn with the MP refresh, and just start spamming out 27 times multipliers and just have her do work. So Fenrir Madam Edel looks pretty cool. She's gonna be a cool event reward. I can't wait for her personally. I'm pretty hyped for her. I'm pulling for the actual Madam Edel that was in the Summon Fest. She's gonna be an outrageously insane damage dealer. It does way more damage than Fenrir Madam Edel does. But Fenrir Madam Edel, I just like Madam Edel as a character. She's really cool. So let me know what you think about Fenrir Madam Edel, how you feel about event reward free units. If you think this one is cool enough to use, all of that cool stuff, I'm going to be using her when she comes out. I can't wait for the free units to come out. Just more stuff to play with in the game is always a plus for me, guys. So if you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead, hit that subscription button, turn the notification bell on, because it's the only way that YouTube even will allow you to think and allow it to think that this channel even exists for you. Otherwise, I'm a black hole out in the galaxy sucking up a bunch of space that it doesn't want me to do. But anyways, guys, have fun out there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.